Russia's second-largest oil producer Lukoil announced on Monday it will sell its international assets. That's following sanctions over Ukraine imposed last week by the United States. The planned sale marks the most consequential action yet by a Russian company in the wake of Western sanctions over Russia's war in Ukraine, which started in February 2022. Lukoil said in a statement it has started considering bids from potential purchasers, but did not specify which assets will be sold. On October 22, U.S. President Donald Trump imposed Ukraine-related sanctions on Lukoil and Rosneft, Russia's largest oil companies. A week before that, Britain also targeted Lukoil and Rosneft, as well as 44 shadow fleet tankers with opaque ownership, in what it described as a new bid to tighten energy sanctions and choke off Kremlin revenue. Lukoil, headquartered in Moscow, accounts for around 2% of global oil output. Its biggest foreign asset is a 75% stake in Iraq's West Jorna 2 oil field, one of the world's largest. The company also owns refineries in Bulgaria and Romania, supplies oil to Hungary, Slovakia, and Turkey, and holds stakes in oil terminals and retail fuel chains in Europe, as well as upstream and downstream projects in Central Asia, Africa, and Latin America.
The United States hit Russia's major oil companies with sanctions and accused the Russians of a lack of commitment towards ending the war in Ukraine. The new sanctions come a day after plans for a summit between U.S. President Donald Trump and Russian President Vladimir Putin fell apart.
We canceled the meeting with President Putin. It didn't feel right to me. It didn't feel like we were going to get to the place we have to get, so I canceled it. But we'll do it in the future.
The U.S. Treasury Department said Russia's two largest oil companies, Rosneft and Lukoil, were targeted in a bid to damage Moscow's ability to fund its war machine. The move marked a sharp turnaround for the White House. For months, Trump has resisted pressure from U.S. lawmakers to impose energy sanctions, hoping that Putin would agree to end the fighting. But with no end in sight, he said he felt it was time. Maria Snegovaya is a senior fellow at the Russia and Eurasia program at the Center for Strategic and International Studies. While she doesn't expect the sanctions alone to end the war, she says they mark a shift in Trump's approach towards Moscow.
The Trump administration finally sends a very important signal to other purchasers, like customers and all sorts of agents who continue to engage with Russia, that there might be serious consequences coming.
However, Trump stopped short of agreeing to provide Ukraine with long-range Tomahawk missiles, which Kyiv has requested. Trump said it would take the Ukrainians at least 6 months to learn how to use them. Former U.S. Ambassador to Ukraine John Herbst pushed back on that assertion.
So I don't have any doubt that if we gave them Tomahawks tomorrow, without any American instructions, they'd figure out within 2 or 3 months how to use them very effectively. So President Trump, took some arguments made by experts who don't really understand Ukraine to justify something he didn't want to do. But having said that, if he really wants Putin to make peace along the lines of his own proposal, he's going to have to put much more pressure on Russia than just what he did today, and Tomahawk should be part of that.
Meanwhile, in a fresh show of force on Wednesday, Moscow conducted a major training exercise that it said included intercontinental ballistic weapons capable of striking the United States. At key moments in the war in Ukraine, Putin has issued reminders of Russia's nuclear might as a warning to Kyiv and its Western allies. NATO has also been conducting nuclear deterrence exercises this month.
Been fighting so long and so hard that they don't know what the they're doing.